Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, and welcome to my video discussing the brand new bannings that have just dropped today, all right? We are looking at banning specifically for the Pioneer format. We were all waiting in a live stream earlier today to see what was going to come down the pike, but apparently we had to wait until the evening for them to really drop it on us. I guess they needed time to finalize their decisions and write up the article explaining the changes. Now, this is actually a fairly surprising ban announcement for me for a couple of different reasons. One, the color of cards involved, and two, the cards involved themselves. Originally, when I had considered Pioneer bans, I expected what they would do is they would target combinations that had previously proven to be a problem in Standard or in Modern. Basically, cards that have already proven themselves and said, we're too strong, we already got the boot from somewhere else, we're also too strong for this format. And when it comes to these bannings, there's actually only one card out of the 3 cards that are banned that fall into that category, and the other 2 were not on my radar at all, not even close. Another surprising factor about these bannings is the color involved. In all honesty, we've got 1 white card and 2 green cards. I thought we'd be seeing blue cards get the ban, Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, that sort of delve insane nonsense. That's generally what I thought they were gonna start with. Now, I'm happy to see that they are taking a very low profile approach in terms of only picking a few cards to ban, and this is partially because there will be bans every single Monday. Not will be bans every single Monday. They have the potential to ban cards every single Monday. They may choose certain Mondays not to. They are gaining the majority of their information to make these decisions based off of what is flourishing in MTGO in the Pioneer format. So, having multiple green cards end up getting banned is genuinely surprising to me when I expected it to be blue cards. It's interesting to note that green has moved up in the power profile. So what I want to do is I want to go through the announcement. I'm going to read it out. We're going to discuss the different aspects of it. We'll take a look at the different cards that are involved with this particular banning. So the article starts out, over the past weeks, we've been thrilled to watch the community embrace the launch of the new Pioneer format. As we've previously stated, our plan is to watch the evolution of the metagame closely and make agile changes as needed, with possible updates each Monday for the time being. Our goal with these early changes is to promote diverse deck strategies and healthy gameplay, whether or not there is a clear, overpowered deck. In this case, there are 2 decks that are head and shoulders above the field: 4-color Copycat and Green Devotion Ramp. These 2 decks have earned the most 5-0 league finishes on Magic Online and have problematically high win rates against the field. Both decks feature play patterns that would reduce metagame diversity over time. Geez, I wonder what that's like. Oh, I know, I guess we can just look at Standard and the state of Standard right now, with Oko representing in some cases up to 70% of the field, which is absolutely insane. If you didn't hear about that, that's the video I put out earlier today, so feel free to check that out after we're done here. So, as a result, we are banning Felidar Guardian, Leyline of Abundance, and Oath of Nissa. Now, Felidar Guardian totally falls into the category of cards I was expecting had a high probability of getting the ban hammer. The article continues, the Felidar Guardian Saheeli Rai combination threatens metagame diversity by requiring decks to present specific types of early interaction while developing their own strategy, or else immediately lose the game. So be quick or be dead, essentially. Rather than allow this combination to warp deck building in the metagame around it, we've chosen to ban a card. Of the 2 options, Felidar Guardian is the most likely to break again with existing or future cards. And funnily enough, I actually found out about this announcement while I was out shopping. I ran into somebody that I knew, and he said they just put the announcement out. And I was like, really? What got banned? And we talked specifically about Felidar Guardian, and he was saying, you know, he expected Saheeli Rai to get banned because Felidar Guardian had more options to go with it, and that's obviously the entire reason they went ahead and decided to ban the Felidar Guardian. When you look at it on the surface of it, you may go, Felidar Guardian doesn't seem that strong. I mean, he's 1 white, 3 colorless. When he enters the battlefield, you can exile another permanent you control and then return the card to the battlefield under its owner's control. I mean, you look at it and you go, okay, well, like, I mean, yeah, there's lots of blink effects. What's the big deal, honestly? Well, I mean, the big deal is how easily it combines with cards like Saheeli Rai. We've got Saheeli up on the screen. Honestly, the only ability you really need to pay attention to when it comes to Saheeli is the -2 ability that says, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. Except it's an artifact in addition to its other's type. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So essentially, what you do is you put out the Felidar Guardian, right? You copy it with Saheeli Rai. The token comes out. You remove Saheeli Rai from the game for a moment. She comes right back. Now she's reset to full loyalty and can be used again. And you continue to make all these Felidar Guardian tokens, right? Now they all have haste, and you can swing for lethal right away. So the Saheeli Rai Felidar combo was something they just intentionally let come through in standard. And they're like, yeah, we knew about it, but we figured it wouldn't be a problem. And it turned out to be a massive problem. So to stop Felidar Guardian from causing any kinds of problems in the future, they decided to get rid of it. And I understand that because Saheeli Rai isn't a really broken, busted planeswalker in the first place. Generally, when we're talking about like broken, gross planeswalkers, at least in modern times, they aren't like Saheeli Rai. The Saheeli Rai is a 3 casting cost planeswalker, which is a bit of a problem. We are going to talk about that as well. But overall, she is not a, like, she's no Oko, okay? We'll put it that way. Now, the article continues, Leyline of Abundance, and this one was genuinely surprising to me. I was not expecting to see a Leyline from 2020 that they just came up with already be a problem. But hey, it's apparently a genuine issue. So, Leyline of Abundance not only enables explosive ramp starts on its own, but also provides 2 devotion for no mana cost to power up Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. So, the Leyline of Abundance itself is a 4 mana cost normally, but if you get in your starting hand, you get to put it out for free, right? It makes it so that whenever you tap a creature for mana, you get an extra green, and you can pay 8 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And you may think to yourself, that's a lot of mana to activate that ability. But that's where Nykthos Shrine to Nyx comes in. It's a very interesting card, and actually fairly topical considering it's from Theros and we'll be going back to Theros. So Nykthos Shrine to Nyx is a legendary land that taps for a colorless mana, or you can pay 2 colorless and tap it, choose a color, and add to your mana pool an amount of mana of that color equal to the devotion you have to that color. So basically, what would happen is you would tap this, you would choose the color green, and then you get a mana for every green mana symbol in all the permanents you have on the board. So Leyline of Abundance gets you 2 green mana symbols ahead, on top of offering to accelerate your little Llanowar elves and everyone else who taps for mana, and it just moves you faster to that big boost as well. So the article says here that the Leyline of Abundance not only enables explosive ramp starts on its own, but also provides 2 devotion for no mana cost to power up Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. That name is messing with me. Our hope is that in the long term, Nykthos can add diversity to the metagame as part of fun and healthy devotion strategies. Now this makes sense. On the surface, Nykthos is not a broken card. You have to build up the mana symbols, and it is fun to have a big gigantic mana producer, but Nykthos feels like a fairly balanced one that allows you to earn that boost instead of just being broken out of the gate. So it says, therefore, we are choosing to ban Leyline of Abundance as the card that enables the deck's fastest, most powerful opening turns. Moving on to Oath of Nissa. Now, if you're not familiar with this card right here, this is obviously something that we got back in the Oath of Gatewatch days, which isn't that long ago. So it's 1 green to put out, which is pretty solid for 1 green. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker from among them and put it into your hand, and you put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And the other ability, which is really where we're going to have like a big problem, is you may spend mana as though we're mana of any color to cast planeswalker spells. Jeez, it's almost like Magic the Gathering has a planeswalker problem. You know, who would have thought? Who would have thought there'd be an issue with planeswalkers in Magic the Gathering? Oh wait, yeah, that's a constant issue now in the game, huh? Okay, so as a powerful card selection tool that also brings other synergies by leaving a permanent on the battlefield, Oath of Nissa has been a strong contributor to the strength and consistency of these and other strong decks. it's likely that Oath of Nissa would continue to exacerbate problematic strategies going forwards. It also greatly contributes to the consistency of strategies that utilize a large number of 3-mana planeswalkers. Really? 3-mana planeswalkers are a problem? Oh, how much does Oko cost again? Oh yeah, 3. Oh. Oh God. It's so ridiculous. So, it also greatly contributes to the consistency of strategies that utilize a large number of 3-mana planeswalkers in a way that can create unhealthy play patterns. For these reasons, we believe Pioneer will be a more fun and diverse format without Oath of Nissa. They're not wrong. They are 100% right. You want a crazy Super Friends deck with all kinds of... Like, there's enough Planeswalkers running rampant in Standard right now. You want to see how crazy it gets in Pioneer? Because I don't. Note that we will continue to make Pioneer announcements every Monday, whether or not we have changes for the time being. Eventually, Pioneer updates will become aligned with our normal ban and restricted announcements. We'll announce when that switch will take place in the final weekly Pioneer format announcement. We'll be watching closely for the next steps in the development of the metagame. We look forward to watching you all continue to enjoy this amazing new format. So overall, again, I do genuinely feel that they've made the right choice in not leaning too heavily into bans. I know there were people who are like, oh, they're going to ban Oko and Pioneer, they're going to ban this and that. But considering the fact that they can do a ban every week, if there's a problem and new decks emerge, because here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. They issue these bans, and then they can monitor the format for a week. And if all of a sudden crazy cards show up, boom, they can go, you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of this strategy too by issuing another weekly banning. Now, where else could we have benefited from that? I wonder, could it be Fields of the Dead and Oko? Would Oko be nearly as much of a problem if they actually did weekly bannings? No, it wouldn't have, because they could have already started taking the pieces that are needed to make that deck work, or just yanked Oko altogether. Wizards of the Coast needs to step up its banning policy. They can't turn around and pretend like, well, we can't do weekly bannings. We need all kinds of time to formulate this and that. It's like, let me get this straight. You can do bannings in Pioneer every single week, and that format spans Return to Ravnica onwards with like 30 some odd sets and spans like, what, almost 10 years? So you can do that weekly. You can pay attention to that. But when it comes to Standard, which is a format that under normal circumstances more people are playing, but has fewer people playing now. So let's ignore that part. Standard, a format that has what, 6 sets, 2 years worth of cards? You can't keep your thumb on the pulse of that format and make the bannings that are necessary? That does not ring true. So I really think that Wizards needs to revisit its current ban and restricted policy and make it happen more frequently. I mean, look at this. We have the Field of the Dead banning and the Oko banning, and they're a month apart. And Wizards' accelerated banning policy is generally 2 months apart. They are too unresponsive and too sluggish with their bannings overall for Standard. Now, I'm not going to go on over long about this because this is just talking about Pioneer bans. But either way, I'm interested to see how Pioneer is going to shape up, because hearing Leyline of Abundance was going to get banned, I didn't see anybody calling that, right? I mean, I don't think I saw anybody call Leyline or Oath. When it comes to the Felidar stuff, that kind of stuff seemed more obvious. Even I, who didn't really have any attention being paid to Pioneer, was able to sort that out. So either way, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think that they should institute Standard like bannings at this rate? Do you think that these bannings make sense? It's pretty hard to argue against Felidar Guardian, in all honesty. That one's a pretty easy choice. And the Oath of Nissa as well. When it comes to the Leyline of Abundance, feels like the one with the most room to argue, but they did that to protect having to ban themselves from the Nyx land, right? So overall, I follow their logic. Nothing is nonsensical to me. And I mean, admittedly, I still do feel like Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time are probably going to eat it. So we'll see over time whether those last. They're fairly powerful cards. Delve is a very, very strong mechanic, as it removes the normal balancing factors for cards, right? I mean, cards are balanced by their casting cost, and Delve lets you circumvent that. So those are some of the ones that I feel are going to be likely Pioneer bans. But this is a discussion we can have on a regular basis, because they will be doing announcements on a very regular basis. So let me know your guys' thoughts I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. If you want to have a laugh, I actually have a second channel with a bunch of fun and funny videos. I invite you to come on over. It's a wee tiny little channel with a more close gathering of friends, so you're welcome to come and join us. I'll be happy to see you there. Speaking of happy, I'm very happy to show you my list of patrons and channel members. Thank you very much for supporting the work that I do. I appreciate it very much. To all of you, I say, I shall see you tomorrow. And remember, together, we are the sixth color of magic.